regular Piedmont School Board meeting to order. Can I have a roll call?
Matt.
Here.
Derek.
Here.
Neil's here. Jared.
Here.
Lane is absent.
All right, if you'll join with the flag salute and prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You please bow your head for a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for blessing us with an opportunity to serve this wonderful community and school district. Please watch over our students, staff, and administrators as they celebrate this holiday season. Guide us with the wisdom and unity this evening as we make decisions that shape the future of our schools. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Okay, public participation, none. Skip that. We'll go right to presentations. I think the first one up is Lingo construction update on bond projects.
Appreciate you guys having us here today. We're just trying to give an update on some of the recent projects that the projects we've been working on so far. And so we'll go through that. So the first one we'll talk through is the intermediate school, Stone Ridge Intermediate. And so this is kind of an overview of the floor plan up here on the right side. As you'll see that there's different block names, and so we have block 1 through 6 essentially is how we divided this project up. And we've tried to throw a few milestones up here just to kind of give you an idea of where we are in the process. And so not a lot of specific detail here, just looking at the overalls. But we started the project in March when we broke ground, and right now we're scheduled to complete in July 2nd. And so as you see that, we'll now step into some of the photos, and you can kind of start to see where we are with the progress. So from an exterior view, we've got all of the structure up, structural walls. The roof is going on. We're about 70% across on the roof. You see the precast storm shelter in the background there as well. Veneers are about 45% done, and so working our way around with the masonry veneers within the phenolic paneling that's going to follow, which will be more the architectural finish that'll be on the building. So a little bit of schedule here as we look specifically around the site. And so this week we are finishing our curb and base level of asphalt on this project. And so you'll see, the fresh asphalt here on the north side where we just laid that this week. Our plan for the asphalt is we're laying the undercourses right now. What that'll allow us to do is to use that as a wear surface throughout the project. And then right the last month, essentially, before we turn it over, we'll come back and put the new finished surface on top, which will give you, a fresh coat look on that. And so you see that there. A little bit of just an overview of the schedule of how you'll start to see the site come together. And so in February, we'll start in on site grading, kind of the finished grading aspects and landscape aspects. We'll start to bring sidewalks in, and those finishes come together. As we go interior to the school, so this is block 1. This is the storm shelter. And what you see in there is essentially where we've got all the overhead electrical and plumbing that is underway up in the double T's up here, so you really can't see the fine detail of that. We're waiting on the roof to finish, so you see on the right side photo there, they're prepping the roof for the roof to go on next week. And then they're also working on the exterior masonry veneer there in the bottom right. So this part of the project is really going to finish from now until about June is when we kind of finish this final phase of this part. As we get to block 2, this is the east classroom area. This is the part of the project that's furthest along, and so we've actually started primers and paints in this area. We've done field measurements for all of our millwork, so millwork will start going in late January. Floor finishes and those type of things would happen in February and March. This block ends up punching out in mid-March, and so that'll be the first area of the school that's ready to go. As we get to block 3, this would be more the administration and the elective wings, and so you can see this is the next one that's kind of behind that. Bathrooms are ready for tile, and so we'll start that in January. We're finishing some of our drywall in the admin portion, putting the second side drywall once we've got inspections in on those. and then working in on finalizing some of our overhead framing and the hard lid framing. This portion has the most hard lid framing of all the areas, and so putting some extra detail there. Block 4 and 5 is going to be the cafeteria and library area, and so library there on your left. Working on our main overhead MEP. That's going to be our main trunk lines, overhead mechanical, things like that. And then in the cafeteria, we're working on all of the soffit framing. And so that's the one on the right there. As we get to block 6, this is the last area, the west set of classrooms that we will be finishing the building out in. You can see there, we don't have the roof on yet. That's the last roof that gets installed. And then on the inside of that area, we're essentially started the cold form framing, but we don't have anything else going on in there yet. And so part of the flow of just how we're going to push out the west side of the building with it. Next project we're going to look at is Stone Ridge Elementary Shelter Addition. And so that's to the east of the intermediate project, right up there on the edge of Stone Ridge. So this is 6 classrooms with 2 restrooms that are going to be in it. It's all storm shelter. You see there, we started this one in May 27th, essentially right after school ended. We did the demo of the existing drive and started in on it, and we're scheduled to have that completed by April 10th. And so a few milestone areas, which you'll see here, is roofing will be completed on this one this week. We get conditioned air in mid-January. We start in on millwork, and that completes mid-February. And then we complete the rest of our interior finishes in mid-March. And so that one will be, I think the ideal scenario there is, even though you may not move classrooms in there, it would be ready for occupancy in the April-May timeframe. So, as we get to photos, so here's the exterior veneers of the project. You see where it connects there to the existing school. And so exterior veneers are getting closer to completion. There is a radius canopy that goes here on this west side. That'll be coming on the next month or so. You'll start to see that come together. As we go to the connector, so this is what that looks like as it connects to the existing school. This is the unrated part of the building, and so non-rated here. But then once you get inside, where we get to the rated shelter, and then this would be what the inside of the shelter looks like right now. So we have the restroom groups framed out and plumbed out, ready for inspections in drywall. And then as we get to the classrooms, we're started framing on those. They are roofing this one right now, and so as soon as they get done roofing, we'll start in on the overhead mechanical and ductwork that can't get wet, and so essentially we're waiting on that to finish that. The next project we'll look at would be Scissortail Elementary. So that's an elementary school off of 164th. That one, if you remember, we started later. We switched pieces of land and delayed that one a little bit. And so right now, we started on that one in 7/21, and we're scheduled to finish on 11/20 of next year. We've completed foundations this past week, and so that was a good milestone for the project. Site paving is expected to be completed by mid-January. Our slab on grade for our last portion of that, late January. And then the next things you'll start to see from a structural perspective outside of the masonry, keep going, would be steel erection, which will start in January. So you see where the block is on that. This is how this one sits on the site. So we've completed the earthwork portion over here on the east pond. We've started sodding that. And then what we're working on right now is primary paving that's coming around the site from the north to the west to the east as it moves around the site. And so that's freeing up essentially our ability to have a paved access all the way around the building. As you look at the school over here on the right, the floor plan, you see the same block type configuration. For this one, we're going to work from north to south, admin wing out the south end of the building. And so that's how this lays out. North is on the right there. Going to give you a layout of how we're working through it. Right now, the area in red there has slab down. That's where they're working on the masonry walls. The area in green, we have a slab for tomorrow morning and Wednesday morning, where that area in green will get all of its slab down, and then they'll start on masonry walls in those areas as well. And then, like I said, we've completed foundations in this area that's in white. This area in blue is a storm shelter. Storm shelter has been erected, and we're working on the inside of that with underground plumbing and start on the slab on grade on that next week as well. A few photos of that site, mainly block, nothing vertical really to see. You see the slab preps there. that are underway on that. And then, you want me to hit this? Okay. The other project that we're working on right now is at the Piedmont Athletics Fieldhouse. And so this is a rough floor plan of the work that we're doing. And so the black is all existing walls. For those who have been in there, the men's football locker room is over here on the southwest corner. You had a couple of men's offices here, and then a largely open area that was on that side for weightlifting. So what we've done is come in and we're putting in these red walls to fill in some existing openings and things that are there. And then what we're creating is a women's side of the facility. So we're making a women's coach's office there, a couple storage closets, and then the ability to really break that room into a couple different parts as far as how they're going to use that. And so here's some photos of that work that's underway right now, scheduled to be complete by the end of December. So in the whole facility as well, we are doing a fresh coat of paint around the entire, both the men's wing and the women's wing of the facility. So, and then a little bit of a preview. So this coming summer, we will start in on the bleacher addition, where we're going to be adding a section of bleachers on the west side and the east side of the existing home stands. And so those are the areas here in blue, just to kind of give a perspective of that. We should get drawings. This is the only drawing I have. Tomorrow, I think he said we would get the final drawing from the architect and the supplier of the bleachers, and then we'd be bidding that, again, looking for that work to occur over the summer. Any questions that I can help answer for any of the projects?
Jacob, could you?
Sorry. What was the original completion date for the intermediate?
The original completion date for us was 7/16, so July 16th, and right now we're trying to pull that up into early July, into middle of June. Right now is kind of what we're looking at.
And the other project over there, the shelter?
The shelter.
What was the original date for it?
We had that in March, late March, essentially was our date that we had.
It shifted to April.
It's 4/10 right now. I actually believe that that'll come back up into March. We're waiting on a supplier for the canopies to give us a little bit of feedback on the metal panel that's there. That's really the only thing that's kind of holding that out there right now. So I do believe it actually will end up coming back into March.
So we're close on the intermediate to having it so that we're ready to move in and start having school there in August, right? Are there any risks out there from a schedule standpoint?
Not from Lingo's side. We
Okay.
believe we've taken most of the risk out of the project of that.
Thank you.
And I would add to that, our goal is to be able to get Tommy and his team in earlier. We've offered all the way up into March, essentially get his team up into portions of the building as we start turning those over. Like I talked about that block 2, we turn that over in March, allow him to get in there in March to turn that into the functioning classroom area, so that he's not taking all 70,000 square foot at one time trying to get it ready. He can get it ready in smaller blocks.
This might be a question. How long will it take to get the building ready for classes? July 2nd.
Well, we're buying all new. There's built-ins for the cabinets and stuff, and then we're buying all new furniture, and that'll come in and be put in. So there won't be much to do. We anticipate being fully ready to go in August.
Teachers will have time.
Plenty of time.
Is there any thought about, so are we going to be able to bring furniture in and things like that in those blocks prior to having a occupancy permit?
So most of that furniture, I think we have scheduled to arrive after the occupancy permit. It'll all arrive. Usually what they'll do is bring that all in with one vendor because they're ordering it all at one time.
Okay. Good.
We have in the past done that with our marshals who have allowed us to move in portions in selective ways.
Appreciate it. Good presentation. Appreciate the work.
I see the Stone Ridge buildings every day. Doing an amazing job with
Yeah, we appreciate the administration's help, Eddie and his team with always helping us get things ready, and then also with the teachers specifically over there at the Stone Ridge side as we're working. We know that's a disruption to those 4 or 5 classrooms that are along that edge. So we appreciate the minimal complaining that you could do a lot more, I'm sure. And so we don't hear it, at least, so somebody's taking those complaints.
I've talked to
I'm sure.
Eddie about his complaining. There will be no more.
Yeah, so, but we appreciate that. And then I will add, so the elementary project, later on the agenda, we do have a deduct that we're proposing there. That mainly was, if you remember, when we started on the elementary, here we go, on this project, when we had to enter into a GMP agreement in order to get things moving and procured. This was when we were still in the confusion of changing from site A to site B. And so we had to hold some a little bit heavier allowances on some utilities and earthworks and things we weren't really sure how we were going to use. And so that future item that you'll vote on later is to reconcile essentially the deduct that we believe is owed back to the bond fund based off of our reconciliation of that number. And so just to give a little clarity on what that is.
So the football stands.
Right now, we're scheduled to start in the summer.
Nope. They'll be able to practice while they're putting in the stands. So, and the stands will be ready by the time we have the first game, but they'll still be able to practice on the field. Nothing to do with that.
Are we gonna do like a paint refresh on the stadium since we put in new stands? I know like they have those blue panels in the front. I'm assuming the new ones will have the same sort of blue panels in the front. They'll look brand new versus the old.
It'll have the blue panels. If we need to paint it, we'll paint it.
Thank you very much. Good
Thank you,
presentation.
guys.
Appreciate the update. All right. The man we've been waiting on, Eddie Wright.
All right, thanks for allowing me to speak today. I just wanted to touch on 3 of our projects. Jacob kind of stole my thunder on one of them. But we're going to talk about some of the renovations that are happening at the old field house. We're going to go over the high school roof update on the warranty information.
Thank you. And we're going to go over the progress on the indoor hitting facility. So as Jacob was mentioning, we're doing some renovations at the old field house. As we were surveying and inventorying our facilities, we realized that the old field house wasn't very equitable. It didn't allow for many students to use because it had a space that was just a wide open space, a former weight room, and it wasn't being used for anything. We had a men's locker room designated for male athletes that 94 lockers in it. And then we had a visiting locker room that had 32 lockers in it. So just from an equitable standpoint, we wanted to provide enough lockers for multiple teams and multiple programs to be able to use. So what we ended up doing, and I don't know that you can see this real well, his image was a little bit better, but he was right. The black is the former layout of it, and the red is everything that we're doing new. So if you look at the male side right here, we're going to have 60 lockers. We've actually got those installed. Our maintenance team, Darnell and his guys, are building the bases and installing those for us. They're already in and ready to go and ready for flooring to be in the next, and I'll talk about that in just a bit. Jacob's crew has already came in and framed all of that out, gotten the walls painted, and it's good to go. If you look over here, this is the current visiting locker room. We're going to take the additional lockers that we are no longer using from the 94, move them into here, and that's going to present us 34 lockers to be put in that section. And then we've got 60 brand new lockers going into what's going to be the female locker room. The other thing we noticed was that we had 2 storage, 2 office on one side, and we didn't have any storage, any office on the other. So we're coming in and we're framing a brand new coach's office and a brand new coach's storage for any equipment and uniforms that they may have. Just to kind of show you the budget on this, the total from Lingo Construction was $95,418. The flooring, it's going to be a 3-part epoxy. They're going to come in and clean everything up, get it nice and pliable so that that epoxy can go on. It's going to be 3-part. And we're going to put in flex that it's going to add some coarseness to it. So because right now it's concrete. Cleats and concrete don't mix. So we're going to create a safer environment for our kids to go in with cleats. And then finally, the owner provided We purchased the lockers and are installing them from Lightning Locker at a total of $25,846.30 for a grand total of $166,764.30. And here are some images. So before, this is kind of what you had. These were old wooden lockers. A lot of them were rotted out, falling apart. We wanted to get rid of those. These lockers right here are lockers that are being in the male locker room and also being moved to the visitor. We've got them up on bases now. If you see the bottom, they're all rusted out, so we're going to get them up off the floor so moisture doesn't have any impact on them. And these are just some of the images of the coach's office that we're going to come in and put a new floor and put paint on the walls. This is where we currently stand. If you see at the top, that is the finished version of that locker room with the lockers in place. All it's waiting on is the three-part epoxy floor, and that'll probably happen over Christmas break. And then down here, you can kind of see the framing, rock, and drywall that Jacob and his crew are doing. They're doing a phenomenal job, working really quickly. We got a lot of that stuff framed and just ready for paint. Any questions about that particular facility? Okay, Johns Manville and Universal Roofing, they partnered together to take care of some warranty work at the high school. From the moment I was here, we had leaking going on everywhere, especially in the 500 and 600 halls. What they found was it was just a product that wasn't holding up. After about 5 years, that product began to separate, and they started noticing this at a bunch of different sites. So they came in with what's called Dynalastic 180 FR. It's a material that goes over the top. It's a granulated top. But it's got some mineral agents that really reinforce the mat that goes underneath, and it's supposed to work really well on top of that previous roof that we had. So here are some pictures of the finished product. One thing I do want to point out is Universal has gone above and beyond. They were only supposed to come in and take care of that top coat of the roof. They've also paid close attention to all of our flashing. They've done flashing in areas that they didn't have to, that wasn't part of the warranty, and they just did it because they wanted to make sure the job was done right. So they've been a great partner for us, and we greatly appreciate that. They are 99% done. We had the inspection today, and I'll get a report tomorrow to see if we're good to say yes, we're good to go. The other thing that they did while they were up there is anything that wasn't covered under warranty, they did a whole roof inspection for us, and they're going to present that to me tomorrow to see if there's some other things we can do to take care of the 300 and 200 hall. And then finally, the indoor hitting facility. When we first bid, the indoor hitting facility was bid without a bathroom, which meant it was bid without the fire hydrant with running water to it and the fire suppression and protection system. So we had to do an add-on bid. That add-on bid came in at $221,931. Our total is $685,436.40. That's going to incorporate the hydrant, which we're going to be working on with Any Hour Plumbing this week, as well as the plumbing that goes into the building and the new structure for the restrooms, as well as the storage that is attached to those restrooms. Then we'll come back with fire protection, which was not in the original bid. We're starting to make a lot of progress with it. These are just the plans I wanted to show you, just kind of an idea of what the outside's going to look. But this is a little bit better. You can see the actual progress that's being made. We do have all the red iron up inside the building, not on the addition that will come a little bit later. We have all the walls up, the exterior doors, not the garage doors, but the exterior doors, as well as the roof. So now we can get in and start working on the inside of the building. Like I said, this week, Any Hour Plumbing will be out. They're going to build forms, get the hydrant so they can run the water to the bathrooms and be ready to go there. And we're also working with KB Electric to get new service so we can start the electric for it. And that's all I have. What questions do you have?
Eddie, is there,
Yes, sir.
is there a finish date on that project?
We're looking at the end of January.
Okay.
So if everything goes as planned and the weather holds up.
Glad to see that is moving along.
It's
so.
moving real well.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
And I was just going to tell you one other thing. I checked with Jacob. Eddie's been very impressed with John Mansville for their customer service, and we're using them on one or both of the new buildings. I believe both of the new buildings, but it's even a higher quality product than what we have at the high school. So that's a good thing. Thank you both. Have a good day.
Appreciate the updates. Good job, Eddie. Okay, moving on to item 4, business items. Discuss and take possible action regarding agreement with DBH OKC LLC for graduation ceremonies at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. $20,000 from general fund.
It is what you read. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Should have asked this before. I read the contract a couple of times, and I think I asked this question the last board meeting and you answered, so I apologize if I'm asking a second time, but on that day, it specifies the date and time. We have the ability to slide that for weather issues, right?
Back one day. So we have the 14th, which is a Thursday, and the 15th is reserved for us too. So if the 14th rained out, we'd still have the 15th as an option, and we could do it any time that day. So we say it's the 15th is going to rain too, but it's going to be late in the day. We'd have it in the morning.
I think it's a great option. I think it's gonna be an awesome there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Make a motion, we, approve the agreement with the LLC, graduation ceremony at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark.
Motion by Derek,
I'll second.
second by Neil. Can we vote?
Matt?
Yep.
Derek?
Yes.
Neil, yes. Jared?
Yes. All right, item B, discuss and take possible action regarding Central Oklahoma Athletic Director Association officials pay scale.
We just wanted to use the official pay scale for our refs, and we're just another little thing we're tidying up. You know, every month we have something else. This is one.
Looking for a motion?
Make a motion to approve Central Oklahoma Athletic Director Association officials pay scale.
Motion by
Second.
Neil, second by Matt. Can we vote?
Matt?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Neil, yes. Jared?
Yes. Item C, discuss and take possible action regarding job description for unpaid IT internship, up to 5 positions.
So Tommy, I think, had a good idea. He said, you know, we've got a lot of kids that whether they go to the VOTEC or they stay here all day, they have an interest in IT, technology. A lot of kids are like that. And so he said we could open up internships and we could teach them how to do the things that we do. And it might be that we end up getting some of these kids back to work for us. But for certainly they'll be able to go out into the workforce with a better understanding. So I think it's a win-win, and I look forward to seeing how it works. And if it doesn't work, then we'll fire Tommy.
Sounds
all
like
it
a
takes?
career decision.
So are they going to be doing this during school hours or?
It's mixed. Yes. So that is our business hours between the hours of 7:30 and 4. We do have weekend stuff that we do, you know, and we really try to accommodate their schedule the best we can. And it's really open. They just get with me and tell me what they want to work, and then we give them as much education as we can.
So it's not like an elective. They're not like signing up for an hour. a
No,
day.
no, not at all. No, they'll go through the interview process. They'll go through a background check. They'll have to do everything that an employee does.
So we're covered on work comp, like they're going to be doing some physical things too, I would assume, right?
Yes, yes, but not like what you would think. I mean, very, very seldom will they be on ladders or pulling wire or anything. It's really just exposure to the systems, to the, you know, everything that we use.
Sounds awesome. Good experience for those kids, for sure. Real world experience.
I make a motion, we approve job description. Internship.
Motion by Derek,
I'll second.
No.
Matt's got it this time.
second by Matt. Can we vote?
Matt?
Yeah.
Derek?
Yes.
Neil, yes. Jared?
Yes. Item D, discuss and take possible action regarding deduct change order for the elementary construction project. $532,869.16 deduction from the original contract bond fund. And I think Jacob kind of explained what that is.
He did. Do y'all have any questions on that? It's money coming back to us.
I'll make a motion to approve the deduct change order for the elementary construction project of $532,869.16.
Motion by Matt,
I'll second.
second by Neil. Can we vote?
Matt?
Yep.
Derek?
Yes.
Neil?
Yes.
Jared, yes. Beat me to it.
All right. Item 5, consent agenda. Discuss and vote to approve all consent items. These items may be approved by one board motion unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. There is an amended item on item J for a fundraiser. They amended just a piece of it. Any questions? Anything that stands out?
Good. Second.
And note that there is an amended item on J. Okay, motion by Derek, second by Matt, did I hear?
Yep.
Can we vote?
Matt?
Yep.
Derek? Yes. Neil, yes. Jared?
Yes. All right, on to item 6, financial report. Jennifer?
It's your favorite time. We get to look at the graphs. Okay, so we will start with the general fund, and just kind of that top section and staying with what I added last month. We are currently at 93% on our encumbered and spent amounts. That is down 3% when I compared it to last year. So we're actually seeing a little savings right now this year. Collections for general fund are up 2.6 million. 2.5 of that is state. Building fund, we are currently at 72.8% for encumbered and spent, which is up 1.6% from last month, but down 3.7% from last year. So we're a little up. Most of that is the hitting facility that we had to add, but still better than last year. Collections are up $6,420. And again, for building fund and sinking fund, the majority of the collections is taxes. So we'll really start seeing that come in January. Child nutrition, we're at 6.4% for encumbered and spent. That's the same as last month and 1.8% down from last year. And then collections are up 115,000 from last month, and that was just a claim that we collected. Bond fund, the encumbered and spent is the same as last month, and revenue is also the same. We haven't had any bond sales, so that stayed. Sinking fund is also the same. We had an encumbrance that got paid, so it moved to spent, but that spent and encumbered balance is the same. And then collections are up $15,897 for taxes. Questions?
So collections are up and savings are up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where those savings are, where they were counted at?
I would have to look closer to narrow it down to like a function category for you. I can do that if you want. But I know we're just trying to stay lean this year, planning for new
Next year.
buildings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
That's what you want, expenses down and income up, right?
Yeah, and that's by design. We know that we're going to have to hire about 7 or 8 people that we're not moving over from the intermediate, when we split that building. There are certain things like principal. We're not moving a principal over. We'll move an assistant over, but not a principal. We won't move over a library. We won't move over the office people. So there's just certain people that we'll have to. So we were trying to, last spring in our budget work, we were trying to narrow down, really hone in on what we could save so that this year we'd be ready to do that in the fall.
Any questions? Thank you, Jennifer.
You're
Appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna move to item 10 and let Drew go over his superintendent's report.
Yeah, I've got something I'd like everybody to see. So, part of our Capturing Kids' Hearts that we've talked a lot about is something that Flip Flippin calls good things. And so, when we meet as an academic or a executive team, or we have professional development, and anytime we gather, we first start with good things. Good things is just asking what's going on good in the classroom, in the building, in your personal life, good things. So we do that regularly with our professional staff. But we saw something that made us think about asking about good things for kids. It was on social media. We saw this, and I asked Michaela and Riley if they could go out to a couple sites and ask kids what's good, what are the good things in your life. And so they immediately said yes, and then it took them about 40 hours. Would you say that's right? So you're going to see 2 minutes of 40 hours of work between Riley and Michaela, but it's pretty cool. I think you'll enjoy it. So here it is.
I got accepted into my dream college. Go Bison!
I had fun in math class.
Something good that happened to me recently is that I pinned the girl in wrestling that she's really good, and I thought I couldn't pin her, and I did it anyway.
Winning the Unified State Volleyball Tournament.
I got good grades. I'm trying to get straight A's, so that's my good thing.
I just passed my test and I get a new pair of shoes.
I just finished my 73rd book of the school year.
I built a car with my dad.
Just got moved up to the varsity basketball team.
This year we got 3rd at state and we beat a Tulsa school. My baby sister was born.
I got to see my grandpa in Alabama, who I love very, very much.
Something good that happened to me. I got a new job interview.
I got to see Wicked with my mom.
I got to go to baseball tryouts for the team.
I got an A on my test.
I got to spend Thanksgiving with both sides of my family. Last night at volleyball practice, I got 7 kills in a row.
My dad signed me up for wrestling.
I did really good in my tryouts and I might make varsity.
I made a lot of supportive friends lately.
Break, I went to Branson, Missouri and spent a lot of quality time with my family.
So I started a Bible study called Worship Wednesday. We had a lot of people go to our last one. And after the next one, if we have as many people, we get to start moving it up to more days. Recently, just mastered a new softball pitch.
Something good that happened to me recently was getting a lot of new friends at PI and just being really happy.
I understood what I was doing in geometry today.
My mom's chemo has been better now, and so she's doing a lot better, and she's not feeling as sick.
We won our basketball game yesterday. Yay!
Well,
Just
That was
the
awesome.
40 hours of work was worth it.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
yeah.
It was hard to cut it down to minutes.
I'm looking forward to the next video at the next board meeting.
We'll have a bloopers, right?
Yeah. That
So-
makes all this worthwhile, right? Those
It
things right there
absolutely
make all
does.
this
It's-
worthwhile.
It's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may remember that a little over a year ago, well, two years ago, we started a cohort with the SNU Master's Program in Educational Administration. We had 23 students, 23 of our staff that joined that cohort, and they met in this very room every Wednesday night for about 18 months. Well, they now have their degrees, their diplomas, and they graduated last Saturday. And so this is that group, most of the group anyway. A few couldn't make it, but we're proud of them, and just wanted to give them a little bit of credit, because I know one of them texted me and said, "Hey, I really appreciate you putting this all together." And I said, "Hey, you did the hard work. We just offered the program." So
Wow, that's fantastic.
yeah,
I
so-
did the Wednesday night for 18 months, 4 hours of every Wednesday, and there's a lot of time involvement with that. So
Yeah.
That's awesome. 23 people from
23
here.
people from our district. And another cool thing is SNU allowed us, when we felt like we had expertise in that subject area, we taught it. So Patty taught the HR. I think you taught 2 classes, right? And I taught the leadership class. And I don't know if I'm missing anybody. Aaron was the internship. So it was, we really got to put our stamp on our kids, and then they also had SNU people. But it was a really good experience. We enjoyed it.
Nice.
We can do it again?
That's a good question. We do not have one scheduled. We are looking at our options. There's more than one college, and we're just wanting to make sure that we do what's best for our kids. So we'll check that out.
Well, and we grow when we teach that kind of stuff too, personally. So
Absolutely.
appreciate. That's awesome. Good stuff.
The enrollment for December is up 1 from November, and just kind of the natural ebb and flow of enrollment, but we're staying over 5,500. We'll get what we sent in for accreditation in October. The October 1 count was a little over 5,500, and that's up in a year when many schools either were flat or went down in enrollment. So people are still moving to Piedmont. And I wanted to read this to you. We did our second round of Capturing Kids' Hearts in November, and Lisa deserves a lot of credit for just the logistics of that. We did that during the school day, and so we had to get volunteers and subs and then volunteer subs. And so we had a lot of people that don't normally sub for us that subbed, including a husband and wife, right? Who was that? Yeah, on the foundation, Lindsay Wilson and her husband. So Janine had not said, this was a quote from her, I absolutely love the training, and I feel like we are, as a staff, are much more connected. I was eager to get back to the classroom and start implementing everything I learned as soon as possible. And so that has been the what we've drawn out of the people that do those, gone through Capturing Kids' Hearts. I know Jennifer's talked a few times about that. Do you have anything to share? Or Tyler, either one of you?
You know, I would just say that one of the things that's most encouraging to me is the amount of positive that we get from our teachers who commit to going and really being engaged. And the presenters have just praised our staff every time with how committed they are to our kids. And, you know, one of the teachers emailed me and said, you know, I sat there in that training and I thought, I'm thinking about these specific kids in my class and this isn't going to work. And she said, and I came back and every single thing I've tried has worked. And so that's just encouraging, and I know gives them a burst of energy and enthusiasm for the hard work they do. So it's been really good.
Very good. Tyler, do you have anything? No, you don't. Okay. What do you got? Turn that on when you go up there.
No, one thing that I challenged the teachers this last week was to reflect on the training and what was the most impactful thing that they brought back. And it really was how simple the steps were, like the asking 4 questions. What are you doing? What should you be doing? What happens when you aren't doing the right thing? And just working through that, and it has worked. And the teachers were like, well, I didn't even think about how simple that was. And so I had my staff send me some reflections, and a lot of it was they can really focus on the relationship side of talking with kids because they're reflecting on the decisions that they're making. Instead of the teacher telling them what they did wrong, the students are working through that. So that's been probably the best part of it.
Thank you, Tyler. I want to elaborate on what he just said about the 4 questions. So they do give us lots of resources. One of them is to teach our teachers and our support staff to ask kids whenever they make bad choices, whenever they're in trouble, we ask them 4 questions. What are you doing? So it gives them an opportunity to own the fact that, hey, I may not be following all the rules. I'm doing something I shouldn't be. What are you doing? What are you supposed to be doing? Are you doing that? And then the fourth one is, what are you going to do next time? So it gives them an opportunity to correct that behavior and to get to see what it is that what they're doing and what they're supposed to be doing. I'm glad you brought that up, Tyler. So last thing is leadership development. So Brenda kind of leads this up for us, and she sends out an email to every certified person in the district each year and says, hey, if you want to be part of our leadership development, come on these given dates. Leadership is not just about being a principal or an assistant principal. Leadership is about being a teacher leader in the building. There are just dozens of leadership roles that we ask our teachers to engage in every day, all year long. So we have 30 attendees at the first meeting this year. We focused on our key initiatives, so our mission statement, our vision, our core values, reflected on why they want to lead, why they chose to lead, and each month there'll be a different kind of thing that they talk about within leadership. Last thing I want to tell you, we had 16 principals, assistant instructional coaches, and teachers that visited the ECC to observe standards-based centers in our kindergarten classes, and that's pretty cool. Those people were from Mustang, right? Yeah, they're from Mustang, and they came over because they had heard that we're doing good stuff, and they wanted to see that in the action. They got to see that, right, Brenda? And that concludes my report.
Lots of great stuff happening. I love the leadership and professional development stuff. Okay. Now we'll move back to item 7. Executive session, vote to convene or not to convene into executive session. Item 1, to discuss employment as listed on attachment C pursuant to 25 OS 307B1. Number 2, to conduct an ongoing evaluation of superintendent pursuant to 25 OS 307B1. Motion to convene by Derek,
I'll second.
second by Neil. Can we vote?
Matt? Derek?
Yes.
Neil, yes. Jared?
Yes. Time is 6:47.
Piedmont is the place to be. Teachers want to teach here. Parents want their kids to be here. And so we kind of create some of our own problems by the fact that when you're good, people come towards that.
Piedmont really drew me in terms of doing what's best for kids and making sure that everything we do is for the betterment of the students and the families. And so that is something I knew I wanted to be a part of.
Because that's what we need. We need a new intermediate. We need additional for that age group. That age group is big out here and they just need some room.
I really like how Dr. Eichelberger created a group of community citizens, and we talked about what are the biggest needs. It's classrooms. That's how we're going to support our growth, and that's what we need. And so that collective group ratified that intention of we need more classrooms. That's priority.
I think we're going to continue to grow. You know, the research that we had done by the Zonda group out of Dallas said that we could be, in 10 years, we could be at 8,000. I think that's probably conservative. I think we could be higher than that, but we've got a plan on 8,000, and so we've got to do our due diligence to plan for what Piedmont looks like in the next 10 years.
The thought of being able to add more classrooms and more space and keep that as a safe environment is like a bonus. You know, it's like, yes, sign me up.
Splitting our school into two would put us right back to where we were 11 years ago. And, you know, even with room for growth after that. So I think that would be huge for staff and our kids, because we want every kid to walk in there to feel like they know someone, they have a personal experience, they want to come to school. And we don't want it to feel like crowd management.
That means class sizes that are reasonable. It means having space for kids to engage in learning activities, to be able to collaborate with one another, to really have the full experience of an elementary classroom.
The more we can do to create a connectivity between what the kids in band do with the rest of, you know, the athletes on the team, the cheer and the pom group, and the rest of the community, it really makes it a more impactful evening for anybody that attends. We have some instruments that are older, that are in still pretty good condition, but the ones that are prior to the 1990s, they're at a point where they can't be repaired much more than where they are now. And when you're talking about trying to make things work with duct tape and finagling things that way, it really places a hardship on the student to adequately do what they're trying to do.
When I first started, there were like nowhere near as many intermediate students in band as there are now. Like both of my little siblings are in band, and I've been going to their concerts, and it's crazy to see how it's almost doubled, maybe tripled the amount of people that there are in band.
It is of the utmost importance that we are good stewards of the school, of the taxpayers' money. We're not going to increase taxes.
I love children. We are growing so much, and we don't have enough buses. And you know, like next year, I think we already need like 3 or 4 more.
Every time we see a strip of land, they start clearing away the old trees, we start planning it ahead of time. Okay, how are we going to service this neighborhood? How many houses are going to be in this neighborhood? How many children are going to be per house? How many buses are we going to have to send for how many sites? So we start as early as possible to try and get ready.
We want to have a plan for every student and know that it's the safest plan we can have. It's an investment in school safety, and that to me is, it's just non-negotiable.
Humans are wired for progress. We need forward movement.
Advancement.
Always looking to take the next step.
You take it to the next level.
$100 more shots.
100 more swings.
100 more laps.
We know that progress requires commitment.
That desire for progress was evident.
When Piedmont citizens approved bond issues in 2016 and 2020 that allowed for major district-wide improvements.
We were able to renovate our athletic facilities to a level that makes them among the best in the state.
A new gymnasium with over 1,500 seats.
Softball and baseball fields fit for perennial title chasers.
Tennis facilities ideal for hosting top-tier tournaments. The people of Piedmont stepped up. They tapped that human desire for progress. The young leaders in our community have never been better served.
We have a saying around here.
Don't be the same. Be better.
Be better.
Be better.
Be better. Be better.
Be better!
That's the Wildcat way.
Let's go Wildcats!
Piedmont is the place to be. Teachers want to teach here. Parents want their kids to be here. And so we kind of create some of our own problems by the fact that when you're good, people come towards that.
Piedmont really drew me in terms of doing what's best for kids and making sure that everything we do is for the betterment of the students and the families. And so that is something I knew I wanted to be a part of.
Because that's what we need. We need a new intermediate. We need additional for that age group. That age group is big out here and they just need some room.
I really like how Dr. Eichelberger created a group of community citizens, and we talked about what are the biggest needs. It's classrooms. That's how we're going to support our growth, and that's what we need. And so that collective group ratified that intention of we need more classrooms. That's priority.
I think we're going to continue to grow. You know, the research that we had done by the Zonda Group out of Dallas said that we could be, in 10 years, we could be at 8,000. I think that's probably conservative. I think we could be higher than that, but we've got a plan on 8,000, and so we've got to do our due diligence to plan for what Piedmont looks like in the next 10 years.
The thought of being able to add more classrooms and more space and keep that as a safe environment is like a bonus. You know, it's like, yes, sign me up.
Splitting our school into two would put us right back to where we were 11 years ago. And, you know, even with room for growth after that. So I think that would be huge for staff and our kids, because we want every kid to walk in there to feel like they know someone, they have a personal experience, they want to come to school, and we don't want it to feel like crowd management.
That means class sizes that are reasonable. It means having space for kids to engage in learning activities, to be able to collaborate with one another, to really have the full experience of an elementary classroom.
The more we can do to create a connectivity between what the kids in band do with the rest of, you know, the athletes on the team, the cheer and the pom group, and the rest of the community, it really makes it a more impactful evening for anybody that attends. We have some instruments that are older, that are in still pretty good condition, but the ones that are prior to the 1990s, they're at a point where they can't be repaired much more than where they are now. And when you're talking about trying to make things work with duct tape and finagling things that way, it really places a hardship on the student to adequately do what they're trying to do.
When I first started, there were like nowhere near as many like intermediate students in band as there are now. Like both of my little siblings are in band, and I've been going to their concerts, and it's crazy to see how like it's like almost like doubled, maybe tripled the amount of like people that there are in band.
It is of the utmost importance that we are good stewards of the school, of the taxpayers' money. We're not going to increase taxes.
I love children. We are growing so much, and we don't have enough buses. And you know, like next year, I think we already need like 3 or 4 more.
Every time we see a strip of land, they start clearing away the old trees, we start planning it ahead of time. Okay, how are we going to service this neighborhood? How many houses are going to be in this neighborhood? How many children are going to be per house? How many buses are we going to have to send for how many sites? So we start as early as possible to try and get ready.
We want to have a plan for every student and know that it's the safest plan we can have. It's an investment in school safety, and that to me is, I mean, it's just non-negotiable.
Humans are wired for progress. We need forward movement.
Advancement.
Always looking to take the next step.
You take it to the next level.
$100 more shots.
100 more swings.
100 more laps.
We know that progress requires commitment.
That desire for progress was evident.
When Piedmont citizens approved bond issues in 2016 and 2020 that allowed for major district-wide improvements.
We were able to renovate our athletic facilities to a level that makes them among the best in the state.
A new gymnasium with over 1,500 seats.
Softball and baseball fields fit for perennial title chasers.
Tennis facilities ideal for hosting top-tier tournaments. The people of Piedmont stepped up. They tapped that human desire for progress. The young leaders in our community have never been better served.
We have a saying around here.
Don't be the same. Be better.
Be better.
Be better.
Be better. Be better. Be better!
That's the Wildcat way.
Let's go Wildcats!
So, item B, acknowledge the board return to open session. Board return to open session at 7:36 p.m. Board entered into executive session at 6:47 p.m. to discuss employment as listed on attachment C pursuant to 25 OS 307B1 and conduct an ongoing evaluation of superintendents pursuant to 25 OS 307B1. Those present in executive session were Jared Mosier, Neil Cass, Derek Jones, Matt Nelson, and Dr. Drew Eichelberger. No action was taken. So we'll move on to item number 8. Discuss and take possible action. Attachment C.
I'll second. I'll second.
Motion by Derek, second by Neil. Can we vote?
Matt?
Yep.
Derek?
Yes.
Neil, yes. Jared?
Yes. Item 9, new business. No new business. We've done item 10 early. So we are to item 11. Looking for a motion.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
By Neil, second by Matt. Can we vote?
Matt?
Yep.
Derek?
Yes.
Neil? Yes. Jared?
Yes.
We are adjourned.